Good man. Good man.
Oh, I believe we're live, gentlemen.
We
Are
are
we all
live.
good? Yeah. We are live, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday. It has just gone 8:30, and this is your weekly episode of The Breakdown. I am hosting this evening because our colleague, excuse me, Danny Browson is taking a well-deserved evening off. But Danny, suffice to say, will be back. Danny will actually be a guest on Thursday night's show, and then he'll be back again for his hosting his own show next Monday. So anyway, welcome one and all. Joining me this evening is Mike Reedy from Scotland. Hiya, Mike. Are you well?
I'm good, yeah.
Good man. We have all familiar faces. We have Matt Boland as well in Kildare, and Len. I don't know where Len is. Len could be.
Waterford.
Where are you?
Waterford.
Sorry to hear that, Len. So welcome one and all. Welcome one and all. Are you all well in yourselves, as I always ask?
Great, all great.
All good.
Okay, so last week, oh my God, we have a comment here very quickly from Brendan Kennelly. Evening, fellas. Evening, Brendan. How are you?
Evening, Brendan.
Great to have you with us. Okay, gentlemen. Last weekend we had a few games, some better than others. Mike Reedy, I'm going to ask you first. Western Force versus the Lions. It was kind of went according to plan. Mike?
I would say so, yeah. It started off competitive for the first, I suppose, 20 minutes or something like that.
Western when they ran out onto the fucking pitch.
Well, no, Western Force, like they got their score and they were level. There were 7 points each. So, but they kind of ran out of steam very quickly, and normal service resumed for the Lions. Now the Lions were much more efficient on Saturday than the previous week. They had better individual performances as well as a much better team performance. Apart from, I mean, there was a couple of wayward lineouts and not too many, to be fair. But the one really, it's an issue that can be resolved probably easily, is the kickoff. We lost literally every kickoff. Now when and there was a lot of them because they scored 8 tries plus the first kickoff, and we lost literally every one of them. They contested every kickoff, and we didn't contest any of the ones we kicked to them. It's something that's happened to Ireland as well, by the way. We have been guilty of it over the course of time. So the fact that there was so many Irish players involved in the game on Saturday may have been a contributing factor. I don't think it was. I mean, they obviously went in with a game plan to do that, to disrupt our and it's a brilliant weapon. I mean, New Zealand have been using it for fucking decades, like contesting the kickoff. Other teams don't bother, which is nonsense, really, because if you don't contest it, you ain't getting it. It's the same as a line-out. If you don't contest a line-out, you're not fucking winning it. As simple as that. And with the law changes, you're not even getting it. You're not even getting a chance, like of a scrum or something for a crooked throw if you don't go for it now. But we scored some really good tries on Saturday. I mean, the Dan Sheehan's one to start with was absolutely fucking. I mean,
loved us. Yeah,
the much maligned Peter's favourite player, that kicked that ball across.
Yeah, all right, go on, carry on.
I think they're going to have to, once and for all, Burke, you're going to have
Who was it kicked the ball, Mike?
No, just go on.
You're going to have to put the rest, Burke.
Just go on. Move along.
You're going to look like a silly person if you don't bury this nonsense.
No, I said to someone, no, in fairness, I'm only joking. I said to someone, I can't remember who it was. In fairness, I said, in fairness to Finn Russell, he did have a good outing. Now, I can't remember who I said it to now. And in the group, in our group, I said he did have. No, I didn't say it to myself. I said it to someone else. He did have a good outing. So
did you choke on your drink?
Very fucking quietly.
No, it's there. It's a comment. It's a comment. It's there.
He was choking on his Venomite as he said it.
Yeah, I won't say what you could. No, sorry, go on. No, go on, Mike. Anyway, about that. Go on.
No, I thought he played well. Even Finn Russell. I thought our pack was decent. The Irish lads all the way. There was a lot of them on the pitch, so they all played well. I don't think actually anybody in Saturday's game had a performance that would have played them out of a test starting short. Whereas the week before, you couldn't say the same thing. And it's, in hindsight of what some of the things I said last week personally regarding that, it's early days, and we shouldn't be ruling anybody out really at this juncture. Obviously, bad luck to young Tomas Williams. He's
Irish now, is he?
Is he not called Tomas Williams?
Thomas.
Well, Tomas sounds better. He should
Tomas. Good old Tomas, huh?
But
so come here, Mike. Were you surprised with the scoreline?
Yeah, I was a little bit. I mean, Les was fairly close to it last week, and
only for Mitchell. Yeah,
Matt was fucking slaughtered. And who scored the last try again?
Alex Mitchell.
Alex Mitchell.
Right, he was slaughtering him for scoring that try. But do you know what? I'd rather score the try than get the fucking prediction right, to tell you the truth. But
all right.
I thought like I genuinely didn't see going on the game the week before. I know we were against far superior opposition the week before, and in fairness, lads, we all spoke about it in the previous week to that, and we all gave Argentina a chance of it wasn't even going to be an upset. Let's be honest, it wasn't an upset. It was a result that was always likely to happen, and I think we also discussed this last week. We said maybe it was a result that the Lions needed to kick up the backside, to perform better in the games ahead. Which
and Mike, we will have a great conversation about this in a couple of weeks. July 17th. You saw the message who our guests who our guests are, and but people can have a look at that. Matt Boland, excuse me. It was predicted. The game was predicted. The score was predicted. We all said it. So I think Dara Weston said 20 points, as Mike referenced. Les said 40 points. We kind of laughed at Les, but he was right, Matt.
I think we were all hopeful, to be fair.
Is your name Matt?
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah, all right. Calm down there, Mike.
This lad loves just interrupting me all the time, constantly.
I know, yeah, he always does it. He always does it, Matt.
You love it, Matt. That's why
if I'm fucking alive, yeah, it must be, yeah. Yeah, look.
Go on, Matt.
Lions were always winning this game. If you looked at the last time these teams met, it was like 67-17 or something crazy as well. So, like, there was no chance Western Force were really going to put it up to the Lions in any way, shape, or form on the scoreboard. Now, look, let's say they did do quite well in some aspects of the game in 40 minutes. Their scrum did really well in the first half. There's no doubt about it. As Mike said, the kickoff, our kickoff was so bad that we nearly just handed them possession straight away from every try scored. So that's the only time they were in the match. Other than that, you gotta say the Lions controlled the game really well. And Andy Farrell has now played every single player that he has on tour in a match day 23 in 3 games. That's fucking impressive.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't.
Who?
James Ryan.
Hugo Keenan, Gibson Park, James Ryan.
They were all they're all named in the next one. So the next third game, like I said, in 3 games.
Okay.
Roll the tape back. I said 3 games. No, fuck you, Mike. I'm not wrong. It says fucking 3 games
because Ben White's now joining the squad, and he hasn't played yet. So there you go. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
because
he's
Matt,
not even in the fucking continent. Jesus
because
Christ.
Matt, according to Mike, Tomas Williams.
Tomas Williams, yeah.
Tomas Williams is on his way back to Ireland. So, yeah, no, that's fair enough. And Blair Kinghorn hasn't been named in a team either because he's
And is Ryan a sub then for next week?
Ryan is on the bench.
Oh, okay.
He's on the bench.
Well, okay. Now, okay.
So, look, back to the game, right?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, look,
well done.
I mean, it started off really well. Dan Sheehan with a class try at the start. Let's not fucking beat around the bush here. Finn Russell has played really well in this game. Not only that part, but the setup for Ellie Daly's try, where you could see he was watching them Western Force lads, and about 12 of them had their backs to him, and you could see him, little hand behind his back, just telling the lads to go to the right. There's no doubt about it. He can read the game when he wants to, but if he's targeted and it doesn't go his way, he can be a liability.
Switch off.
Let's hats off to Finn Russell. He played really well in that game. So
fair enough. I know I slag him, but yeah, absolutely fair enough. Okay, Len, before I come to you,
right? Just one more thing, right? Just on the Mac Hansen selection, right? And everybody said, and look, we all said it here. I said it myself. We all thought he shouldn't be there on merit, right? Or because of his performances and being injured, all that sort of stuff. But he was picked on merit. And Andy Farrell said after that game, that's why he's in that test squad, because he's going to play for everyone on that pitch. And he was instrumental in 3 tries, and he also stopped a certain intercept try from the Force. So
he was unbelievable, Matt. Yeah,
he has silenced everybody now, and he's actually put himself in a really good position to be in that fucking test team as well.
Well, Matt, Mike, and Len. But before I come to all your opinions, if Mac is to start in a test game, who would he start ahead of?
It's either him or Tommy Freeman.
Tommy Freeman.
There you go.
On the right
there
wing.
You go. There you go. Now, there you go. Okay, gentlemen. Len, your thoughts on that opening game for the Lions? It went according to plan, didn't it? Yeah, DJ. Look, Argentina were exceptional the week before. Like, they really put it up to the Lions. First game out for the Lions, but yeah, it did. Look, you're playing a club side with some, internationals, are fucking basically internationals across the board. The Lions scoreline reflected that. As the lads said, restarts were a problem. The line-out was a bit iffy. I didn't think, as Mike said, there was nobody played themselves out of contention, but I did think, to be honest with you, I think Byrne should have been rested for that game.
I do as well.
Yeah, they played him at 6, and
pointless exercise for me.
It was a pointless exercise, to be honest with you. And I also think he didn't have a bad game, but I don't think Furlong is completely match fit, or maybe it's a 2 or 2 far from. Not sure. He done okay. You know what I mean? He wasn't. He didn't do anything wrong, but he just, like Byrne wasn't on today. He wasn't on the top of his game. Apart from that, look, it was McCarthy had a fantastic game. Absolutely brilliant. He really put his hand up. Go on, yeah. I tell you, sorry, I was going to say, Len, I agree with what you're saying about Byrne, and an awful lot of the social media sites and websites and all that said, what was the point in starting Byrne? Give him a rest. Give him a rest. Yeah, I really honestly think so. Like, they have plenty of lads to choose from. They know what Byrne can do.
Yeah. James Ryan could have started, or was he injured?
No, I don't think Ryan is injured.
James
Ryan's injured, is he?
I don't know.
No, I don't think he is. Sorry, hold on. Go on, then. Go on. No. As I said, it was pointless. But like in the rest of the game, yeah. Look, there were some very good performances apart from like the line out, the restarts and stuff. I thought Tubeloto, as we've discussed already, is a 12. He isn't a 13, right?
Exactly.
And I think the one thing he has over Aki, as much as I like Aki, is I think he has a better foot than Bundy. his fucking little grubber kicks in behind, chips over the top. He tends to use the boot more so than Bundyaki does. And I would like watching him play, in fairness. Who else was on it? Ringrose had a good game. Daly. I thought Daly was excellent at fullback.
Yeah.
You know, we have Keenan and what you call it?
Kinghorn.
Kinghorn hasn't travelled over yet. Keenan is carrying a knock. Daly at fullback was excellent. You know what I mean? So it's a good option there at fullback. I know he plays wing as well, like a utility back. But yeah, it was nice to see him having a very, very good game defensively. So like what you have. Actually, who was named for the wing? I was just thinking of the wings. He had Lowe. Yeah, Lowe was brilliant. And the boys were saying that's right to himself. And Sheen was fucking class. The back and forth.
But I tell you, Len, to go back to your point about Aki and Tui Tomato, whatever his name is. Aki tends to go route one, which is straight.
Yeah.
Tui Pilato, as you said, uses the boot. A bit of subtlety about his game, shall we say? But Aki always goes route one. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe that is something that the Lions need to play Australia, to play these club sides or franchises or whatever you call them. What would you think?
Oh yeah, look. In fairness, like as I said, as much as I like Bundy, he doesn't use the boot, and in like the modern game, you need every edge you can get. And Tui Pilato, in my opinion, that it's just a facet of his game. Was and it was on the night he was saying you have to be able to kick off of both feet, pass with both hands. Aki doesn't like. When have you seen Aki put it through a rubber kick that popped up?
Rarely.
Very rarely. You know what I mean? So look, I was impressed, and like, the one thing I find about the Lions is when you're watching the Six Nations, you're watching these guys as opposition. You're much more focused on the Irish team. When they're part of the Lions, you actually tend to view them in a different light.
Oh, absolutely.
So you wouldn't look at Daly as much, right? He's the opposition, and he's feeling balls, he's running down the wing or what have you. When he's the part of the same team that you're watching, you kind of analyse their performance a hell of a lot more. Or you take more notes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like, there's guys in there that have, and look, I thought again, Pollock, he's probably a bit of a gobshite, but he's 20 years of age. I thought he had a decent game. He still needs to work on his defence a little bit, but I can't think he's down. But when he went through that time, when he made the break, I think he said it on the group, like he had an awareness about him. He looked left, he looked right. He didn't just get try-line fever and head straight for the whitewash. You know what I mean? And he offloaded, made a pass, and it was a try. So, yeah, look, again, as I say, well, if you're a Leinster fan and you're watching with Northampton, you're going little bollocks, right? If you're an Ireland fan and you're watching them with England, you're going little bollocks. But like when you're watching them with the Lions, you probably appreciate aspects of their game that you probably didn't take much notice of before.
Very true. Yeah. Very true. And gentlemen, who did we have on before? Was it Nick Popplewell talking about, or was it Rob Henderson about Pollock? Saying he's so fucking annoying. Who was it we had on? That was.
It might have been Rob, because Nick was a little bit a while ago before he really came to the. Mind you, it was during the Six Nations, isn't it?
Yeah, it was during the Six Nations, and we were talking about the Northampton game, and was it? Anyway, I can't remember. Someone said he was very. I don't know the guy.
Actually, just before you move on, thanks for clarifying that you were hosting tonight. Because without the glasses, I was going, what the fuck is Danny Brosnan doing wearing the fucking Leinster cap? But hang on, all is sorted.
That's really funny. Yeah, well done. Okay, Len. All right, a couple of comments. Brendan Kennelly is kind of active here, gentlemen. He said, evening, fellas. And then he comes up with Finn Russell to be starting 10 in the first test, Australia. Yeah, I don't think that would ever be in question. Yeah, absolutely. Brendan, look, I don't like him, but he suits a certain thing. Luke Conway, hi Luke, evening lads.
Just on that, Peter. Like we were talking about Smith. Sorry to interrupt. We're talking about Smith. We know he's not a 15 in the previous game against Argentina. I do think when Russell went off and Smith came in, Smith wasn't that bad at 10.
But that's his. You see, Len, for fuck's sake, like this is what we were like. Coaches play players out of position to experiment with the workings and all that sort of stuff. Marcus Smith is not a 15; he's a 10. You're right, Len. You're right. You're bang on. He should stay at 10.
Was like I didn't think he copped a lot of flack at 15, and we know he's not a 15.
Of course he did.
You know
of course he did. Because he's not a 15. It was like if I went onto a pitch and played, linesman, referee. Jesus, Burke isn't a ref. Len isn't a ref. Mike isn't a touch judge. Matt Boland isn't a. Yeah, we're not. That's the fucking point of it.
Actually, on playing out of position, I was just looking there on Twitter or whatever it was, and they were talking about Esterhausen and Razzie and his fucking hybrid fucking players, right? And I think it was Caelan Les Rugby, I think it was. It's on his tweet. And once the South Africans come up with this fucking idea, the fucking 6-2, the bomb squad and whatever, it's like they've invented fucking rugby. So Razzie was getting fucking a load of fucking praise for fucking Esterhausen playing as a flanker. And the boys actually put up, I think it was Caelan put it up, that in 2005, fucking Declan Kidney started David Wallace on the wing in a Celtic League game. So it was done 20 years before Razzie. You didn't reinvent the fucking wheel.
David Wallace on the wing.
David Wallace. He started David Wallace on the wing in the Celtic League game in 2005. So Razzie, you didn't invent it.
All right. Okay.
He likes to think he did, though.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
The staffers like to think he fucking did.
Now, gentlemen, before we move on, the last Brendan Kennelly again, the last contested Ireland kickoff I remember is the one against France when Hansen scored the try. I remember well.
Yeah.
Brendan, again, I think as much as Argentina were good, the Lions in that game made a ton of errors too.
True.
Yeah. Brendan, again, Pollock was solid the last day. Okay. Matt, I'm coming to you next. Gregor. Hi, Gregor. My thoughts where Ireland guys put hands up, etc., etc. Okay. Sorry, gentlemen. Gregor says, sorry, Gregor. I see it. I see them all coming in there. Gregor says Ryan is playing on Wednesday. Yes, we got that. Brendan Kennelly, Gary Ringrose quietly had a great game. I would totally agree with you, Brendan. Yeah. Absolutely. Bevan. Hi, Bevan. How are you? That's why the centre partnership of Connacht was so good when it was Aki and Ford, as Aki ran and Ford kicked. Okay. That's a very good point, Bevan.
Yeah.
A very good point. And Gregor Galway also agrees with you. Okay.
Now there's a point, by the way.
Go on, Mike. Yeah, go on.
The game where Bundy played like at 12, we had Tui Pilato at 13, and he proved unequivocally
he's not
13. Yeah. So he wasn't kicking in that game. No, whereas Ringrose complements Ringrose and Bundy complement each other. I think if he's going to go with one or the other, if he's going to go with Tui Pilato, he's going to go with Hugh Jones as a 13, and vice versa. If he goes with Bundy, he'll go with Ringrose. I think that's. But
sorry, Mike. But listen, before the last Lions game where Tui Tomato played in his position, he didn't play there for 4 years. He didn't start
at 13. No, he didn't. No, he's completely. He's over
4 years. 4 years. 4 years.
Yeah, he's not at 13. He's proven it. He proved it because in the two halves of that game against Argentina, the difference when he went to 12 was like remarkable. Right, Bundy went off and he went to 12.
There you go. Yeah, and, exactly. There you go. All right. Okay, Matt. Okay, all good with the Lions game. Matt, South Africa versus the Barbarians, formulaic, whatever. Yeah, great. What do you reckon, Matt?
The only interesting thing about that game was the scoreline was the exact same as the Lions versus Western Force game, 54-7. And that's all I'm going to talk about.
The only interesting thing about that fucking game was I made a cup of tea and I went to get a Viennese whirl out of the fridge.
Ooh, Viennese
and
whirl.
Mr. Kipling,
Have their fucking digestives.
Posh fucker.
A Viennese whirl, fucking Mr. Kipling, they're fiver.
Fucking notions. Come on.
I didn't think they'd have Viennese whirls in Tala.
Anyway, go on. Fucking back to your story.
Sorry, I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I like Tala. I built a shop in Tala. I built a
Yeah, great. That's a bit of a grab now, Mike, there for a comeback. Matt, okay. Len, Barbarians, go on, pour your Guinness first. Come on, we wait.
Right. Like Matt.
Show us your point.
No. Like Matt, right? The only thing I say about that game was, yet again, the fucking South Africans sucked all joy out of fucking rugby, except for the South Africans. It's a fucking friendly game. They're like Barbarians. There's a charity element. It's a fucking friendly.
Yeah.
No, right? They had to go out. They had to fucking experiment and fucking play Jesse Creel and fuck off. Like, seriously, just fuck off. Like the whole fucking the Barbarians, right? You have fucking hookers, fucking and props, fucking taking penalties. We didn't get a fucking chance. They scored fucking 7 fucking points. Now, I will say, right, from Cheslin Colby, I did enjoy his performance because he's just a joy to watch. You know, when the guy stepping left and fucking right is brilliant. But apart from that, no, right? Now, I just happened to bump into the guy that lives down the road. He's South African. The following morning. And you know, South Africans, if they win anything, they fucking can't wait to get out of the way to fucking talk to you, right?
Yes.
So we came up, we were watching the Lions. Yeah, I was watching the Lions. Did you watch the Barbarians game? Yeah, I watched the Barbarians game. What you think of it? It was dire. Did you enjoy the Lions game? I did. And he started rambling on about how well they were doing and what they had done and fucking yada yada. So I said, yeah, but you know, you're missing the whole point of the Barbarians. But he said it's a friendly game. It's a warm-up pre-season for us South Africans. I said, yeah. He said, so likewise, he said, with the Lions game, now he had a point. So his point was that I enjoyed the Lions game, as Matt said, 54-7, beating the club side. So why is it not the same for the South African team beating the Barbarians 54-7? I said, because, you know, it's slightly different. You know, the club teams on the Lions tour are there to warm up the Lions team. It's specifically designed that way, and it brings in revenue for the club sides. It's a money-making exercise for the Southern Hemisphere.
Yep.
And yeah, look, he wasn't accepting it either way, and I think he might have mentioned something about 4 World Cups, and if he didn't, he probably just
and he probably did.
He wanted to stop me anyway.
Well, like,
no, but okay,
that was my view on it, and I felt sorry for Healy and O'Mahony because, you know what I mean. I thought, no, I didn't actually think, because I knew the fucking South Africans would do no different than what they did. Yeah, no, go on. That's it.
All right, fair enough. Okay, thanks, Mike. Thanks, Matt. Mike Reedy, go on. Your thought? Yeah, go on.
I think it was a typical embarrassment from South Africa. The ethos of rugby. We spoke with Les for the board last week, and they just don't have an ethos, none at all. And that's why they're so different to us in every aspect of the game. The Barbarians went out there with a fucking team of guys that were retiring. Some of them are certainly at the end of their careers. And they came out with a absolutely fully loaded squad, including the fucking bench, this bullshit bomb squad. Crap that up. Fucking annoys me, all this. They are trying to reinvent the wheel, all this fucking nonsense. Sorry, lads, I'm having one of those rants now. But
hang on a second now, Mike. You just said before you don't go on rants.
I know.
He said he doesn't raise his voice.
I've watched back to some of the shows, and I thought, oh God, really, shut up.
We all go on rants. Go on, Mike. Go on.
But it was actually, I mean, any South African that tries to defend how they played on Saturday should be watching a different sport. They really should, because that's the Barbarians like put out a, as we say, they were mostly New Zealand players, to be fair. No, there was a few. I mean, Sam Kane is done, by the way. He had a really, really poor. Absolutely every aspect of his game was fucking substandard. And South Africa went head like fucking leather and tongues for everything. They contested absolutely everything. And like Len just said, Cheslin Colby is a joy to watch, lads. That boy is a special talent. And they have, listen, make no mistake about it, they're a very, very good side, South Africa. But you don't need to do that against the Barbarians, like a scratch side that's like Peter. And O'Mahony actually acquitted himself well, to be fair. He won a couple of
He did actually. He was one of the better ones on the pitch, to be quite honest with you.
And in actual fact, Keane Healy played for 60-something minutes.
Yeah.
And he scrummaged very, very well against supposed best scrummagers in the world, which they are, lads. There's no question about it. But the Barbarians were never going to be in the game. They weren't going to be allowed to be in the game.
It was a relatively poor Barbarian team, though.
It was.
From some previous years, there was. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of star quality on it now, in fairness.
We needed a few Fijians in there, to be honest with you, to throw a bit of fucking light.
Bust up the South Africans, exactly.
Because they were never allowed to play in a Barbarians manner, like just throwing the ball. They just didn't get the ball. They kept the ball away from them, and they fucking bored them off the pitch. They basically bored them off the fucking pitch. It's embarrassing.
I don't think they'll be South Africa anytime soon.
So hold on, gentlemen. Here's a comment from Sonia Croak, or Sonia Clark, as Mr. Brosnan likes to call her. Sonia Croak. These South Africans are such a shower of anchors. Clearly, Razzie didn't get the memo re sportsmanship.
No.
Yeah, he got it. He just couldn't be bothered. His whole fucking adhering to it. That's basically it.
And a follow-up. Well done, Sonia. I like it. A follow-up. Oops, dropped the W. Well done,
I think we gathered that one, Sonia. To be fair,
I know we got that, Sonia. Thanks very much. Okay, so I think that nothing really to shout home about with that the Barbarians game and all that sort of stuff. No. Nothing. Yeah,
it was a waste of 80 fucking minutes now, to be honest with you. And that's sad to say. I watch Ali rugby, but I was actually pissed off at the end of it after watching, because I just said,
Well, come here, hold on. Now, here we go. Right.
Go on.
I've seen there's been a few. Sorry, there's been not a few. One or two calls for the Barbarians just close it down, shut it off, get rid of it. It's a fucking money-making bore fest. Mike Reedy, go for it.
Lads, it's part of the fabric of rugby, and it's like it did have its place, and maybe it's when you see games like that. I genuinely don't think the Barbarians will ever play against South Africa again.
No.
I don't think they'll ever play against them again, because they play against other teams, and other teams allow them to play fucking rugby, and they do. Like, there's other teams that the Barbarians have pushed a bit close because they allow them to do what they do. It's like what Dara says. Like, they are the Harlem Globetrotters of rugby, and that's just all about exhibition. It's an exhibition game. But not when you're playing.
A bit of fun.
Not when you're playing South Africa.
Yeah.
And like, they don't. I don't know what tis about them. I just don't know what tis about them.
All right, Matt.
Well, I do.
Would you?
I have strong opinions about what tis about them, but I'm not going to voice them on this.
You've strong opinions about fucking pennies underpants, Mike. Hold on.
Well, I don't know. I've never heard
it. Matt Boland, Barbarians, is it kind of, have they gone past their sell-by date, so to speak?
No, absolutely not. And you know why? Because it's just one of those things that's, if you ask any player what is like one of the highlights of their career, they're going to say playing for your country, playing for the Lions, and getting selected for the Barbarians. The Barbarians is one of those things that guys are privileged to get picked for. And when they go on a Barbarians tour, they're given the jersey and the shorts and no socks. and their socks have to be the club that they played with growing up. And that's a massive tradition. And the tradition of the Barbarians has to continue. Maybe they look, and let's not look. Okay, for South Africa were unbelievable, right? And they went out to hammer the Barbarians. But look at the previous results. Look at the previous results of South Africa and the Barbarians. South Africa haven't beaten the Barbarians in 25 years. So,
really? I didn't know. I didn't know that.
I didn't either, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
That's why they went out to slaughter the Barbarians, because they hadn't won since 2000, and the last game they played was a draw. So, in 25 years of playing now, look, it's only 3 games. Let's not get fucking carried away here. It's only 3 games, but they hadn't beaten them for 25 years technically. So they wanted to go out and win.
But you see, Matt, they haven't played them in the World Cup.
and also, I have no doubt about it that fucking Razzie was looking to break the record score against the Barbarians on the day. I have no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, Len, just before I ask your opinion on the Barbarians, is a great question or point from Bev. Barbarians should play tier 2 and 3 teams rather than tier 1. Len, gentlemen, there you go. I think that's a very valid point.
Probably make for a better spectacle, all right? Yeah. But like one of the reasons the Barbarians, like, I'm not sure it was the only reason was set up, but I do know there was a fundraising element with it going fucking back when Australia toured, and the Barbarians had a match. I think that's why it was formed, to raise funds, basically to send the fucking Australians back home. I think that was one of the founding fucking reasons for it. There was a charity element to it to raise funds, and that still continues. Okay, we move into commercialism and it's a different story nowadays, but they do raise money for charity and the whole lot. So absolutely, its day is not done. It's part and parcel. It's tradition of rugby. You know what I mean? And since we moved into the whole professional era, there's very few of those elements of rugby that are left. So let's hang on to what we have.
Well, what was the game, gents, where Gareth Edwards scored that thing? Was that against Wales?
The Barbarians played the Lions back in 70.
And Gareth Edwards scored that try from their own try line.
It's the greatest try you're ever going to see in your life.
I was going to say that. I think it was voted the greatest try ever scored.
Phil Bennett, lads. They're the reason I loved rugby. Phil Bennett and Gareth Edwards and Mike Gibson, and fucking amazing they were.
Yeah.
Just on Bev's point there, though, right?
Go on.
It's a fantastic idea. It really is, and it'd bring a lot of support to the tier 2 and tier 3 nations in terms of like people watching it. But as Len said, like it's kind of a charity thing, so it'll never happen because they want to raise as much money as possible. So they want them playing the best teams in the world. You know what I mean? So
there's also the aspect that the Barbarians traditionally has been an outlet for Southern Hemisphere teams to play against, like the established nations, like the Lions, like the Lions is going to the Southern Hemisphere with a mixture of so the Barbarians originally was kind of a mixture of the Southern Hemisphere teams, and it's kind of thrown it's a dolly mixture now, isn't it, of teams from everywhere, players from everywhere.
But it's like, but sorry, go on.
I wouldn't think it would be successful for them to play against lower tier teams, because the whole concept, as Len said, is charities to raise funding, and you wouldn't get the support.
But then again, though, hold on, gentlemen. But then again, you're talking. It's a good point, Mike. Good point. But then the Irish Summer Tour is to Portugal and Georgia.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's because the Irish.
Why is that fine? It's a second tier.
Because we're trying to promote the game in those countries. So that's a bit different. the Barbarians like is just purely to create finance for lesser teams or for whatever. But I would think it's going to be beneficial for Georgia and for Portugal to play. I mean, it has to be. Ireland are one of the top nations in the world now, rugby nations, and they'll go out with it's an understrength team because of the Lions tour, but
well, it's not that understrength.
Well,
Mike.
It is fucking fair.
Look, you're missing. Well, we're missing
Irish players away in the fucking. In
I know, but if you
look
look
at fucking charity, lads, it's the development.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the development fucking tour. Like the games are development. It's not
that's exactly what it's a development.
Like if the Barbarians came to play Ireland, guess what? We'd field the fucking Ireland A team. We wouldn't field our fucking best 23 and hammer them off the fucking pitch in the fucking Aviva. No. So that's where fucking the South Africans went wrong. Not that they give a bollocks, to be quite honest with you, but it would be the Ireland A team would play the Barbarians, and they'd give them a match. Barbarians might win, but it wouldn't be this 54-7 nonsense.
Hold on,
for charity. Like I actually fucking boy my fucking piss at the end of that fucking game because I was just fucking pissed off. Fucking sorry.
You're on the fence again, lad.
So excuse me now, but it spoiled the whole Saturday for me. To be honest.
I know. Right. Okay. Just I thought that what spoiled last Saturday for me was that fucking off license was closed by the time. Dara Weston, our colleague Dara Weston.
Mistake, so I was okay there.
Dara Weston, as I said last week, the Saffers didn't get the memo. They take a friendly game against rugby's equivalent of the Harlem Globe Trotters, and they're delighted they've broken a record by beating them by the largest winning margin. Typical Razzie, lack of cop on and respect for the traditions of the game. Absolutely, Dara. Yes,
that's what we've all said.
I think that we've all kind of said that. Okay, Raz. Before we move on to the next game that was on last weekend, anything final about that particular game? No. Anyway, Barbarians. No. All right. Okay. All right. The game of the weekend. Hold on, my phone's after locking. Wait now. Put in my password. Amputee midget. Okay, let's not go there. We had.
I can't believe you just said that in fucking live on.
I don't care. It's all a bit of crack. That's what you have to do. Okay, Matt Boland, Toulouse, the top 14 final, Toulouse versus Bordeaux. I thought that was. Now we said it. Whatever it was last week, this was going to be the game of the weekend, and it certainly turned out to be that way. Matt, did you see Toulouse versus Bordeaux? Toulouse edging that 39-33, went to extra time. Great game.
It was a great game. I didn't see it, though.
Good man. Well done, Matt.
That's it. Mike, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, Mike, and go on. Mike Reedy.
I thought it was an absolutely exceptional game, lads. We talk about the Harlem Globetrotters of rugby, the Barbarians. We saw Harlem Globetrotters playing club rugby in a French top 14 final, as it was fucking outstanding from start to finish. It was a class game. Two teams going at it for 100 minutes. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Proper rugby, played at a high pace. Absolutely every aspect of the game was first class. Two good teams. I think has raised a serious question about the top 14 in general.
In what way, Mike? In what way?
46 players at the end of that game were out on their feet, completely fucking exhausted, and the fact that the season has gone on far too long. Now Blair Kinghorn probably has no business going to the Lions, if I'm honest, and he was very, very good on Saturday, or when it was Saturday, wasn't it? Yeah. But he needs rest, lads. Those players have had zero rest, and now they're going to go into a pre-season. There's going to be no rest now either.
Mike, the same thing could be said for Tyke Byrne.
Well, the same thing could be said for the Lions. The Lions are going to be exhausted, but that's kind of a once every 4 years. But now the question, like the game was BLBRE. I call him Billy Barry, but BLBRE as his proper name.
Hold on, Mike. I have a comment for you from Sonia Croak. There you go.
Yeah, Billy Barry. There you go.
Thank you, Sonia.
It's like, you know, he was exhausted before the game kicked off, and
Right.
he didn't last. I think he lasted about 10 minutes or something like that. And like the game was robbed of one of the best talents in the sport at the moment, and like in fairness, also Toulouse were missing obviously Dupont and the wee Italian maestro whose name I Capuazzo. Capuazzo, yeah. He was missing. And then they lost Antimac during the course of the game. So they like kudos to them for going out and winning a game that could have easily got away from them, but it didn't. They stuck. To be fair, they were the top team during the entire. Bordeaux never got ahead. They never got away. Whereas Toulouse did. They were outstanding lads. Both teams were, to be fair. And give the ball to that Peno, and you never know what he's going to do. He's capable of doing that.
What about Ramos, Mike?
He was outstanding.
Off the tee.
Yeah, he's the best. I would say, by the way, he's as good as anybody I've ever seen from the kicking team. He's as good as anybody I've ever seen, without a doubt.
Even Johnny Wilkinson.
Even Johnny Wilkinson, yeah. Even Johnny Wilkinson. I think
Dan Carter.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think because his accuracy is absolutely phenomenal, and he's the current player. So you judge it on what we're seeing currently. He's the best in the world. Right. Oh, there's no doubt for me. He's the best goal kicker in the world right now.
All right.
I think it was an absolutely brilliant game to watch. Everything about it had the whole package, and it went to extra time, which I mean, there are some games you do not want to go to extra time. You think, I wish this was fucking over, by the way. But that wasn't one of them. That certainly wasn't one of them. You could have watched that for another hour. But,
like most Munster games for me.
That's the one thing, by the way, I was
Matt Boland. Matt Boland, your thoughts on the... Oh, you didn't see it. Sorry, Len.
Hey, fucking hell, have you had a smoke?
Len? Hello?
Sorry, are we breaking up here, or is it just me?
Just you,
I don't know.
Must be just you.
Just you. No, I was going to ask about the top 14 final, if you saw it, and what you thought of it. Would you agree with Mike that it was a spectacular game?
Absolutely, it was. I tell you, the French know how to do rugby, in all fairness. From the presentation on the start of the pitch, the packed stadium, the atmosphere, and the game was just electric. As Mike said, 100 minutes back and forth. The ref, in fairness to him, left the game flow. It was just a spectacle. It was just absolutely, like, if you wanted to get somebody into rugby that never watched rugby before, sit them down in front of that and say, there you go. This is what rugby is all about. It was electric. It was really, really good. As you said, Peno, Ramos, you're just two very exceptional players. It was soccer, you'd actually go, Jesus, it should have really ended in a draw. It was harsh for either of the teams to actually lose on the night, to be honest with you. But look, Toulouse, they were the better team overall over the 100 minutes. As you said, no Dupont, no Capacetto. But like it was great. It was the match of the Saturday. Like it was just after the shite that was Barbarians to sit down and watch that, and all was good with the world again.
It redeemed they've redeemed the in the love we have for the game, you know.
Absolutely.
It does, yeah. Now here we go. Dara Weston top 14 final was possibly the best game this rugby season. Tied it on the scrum half when it's his round, but Wiley Old Toulouse got the win as I predicted. Yeah, all right, brilliant, well done there. Seeing the shot clock tick down in parallel to the second of the game clock shows the experience of Toulouse at UBB just couldn't match. Okay, no. Mike Sheedy, South Africa team, they're out to destroy Barbarian. You see it happen a few minutes into the game.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike. Up we go. All right. And the last game, I didn't see it. Where's Len gone?
He must be trying to come back there.
Dan, what are you doing? I haven't.
I'm back.
Oh, there he is.
You're gone dark.
I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Like, I have fairly good Wi-Fi, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Right, I'm back.
You just went completely black.
No idea.
Anyway, okay, last game. Before we go on and talk about the Lions game coming up on Wednesday, I didn't see this. The Ireland under-20s game against Georgia. Any use? I don't know. Did
I never saw
see
one kick of it, no, so I can't comment on this. I didn't see a kick.
Okay. Well, can I, Mike? I didn't see it. Len, Matt, anyone?
I didn't see it either, lads. Apologies.
No worries.
And I'm disappointed I didn't tell you the truth. I would like to have seen it.
Yeah, again, I heard it was another cracking match. So
I believe it was good. Yeah, I believe it was good.
I'm not going to even tell you what I was
when I tuned in, there was like 2 minutes left, and it wasn't enough to see it. So.
Yeah, true. Okay, Matt, the game on the Lions game on Wednesday. Let me just call up the team here. I have it here now in front of me. Who are we playing again? Oh, the
Queensland
Reds. Yes. Now, okay. So the Lions team, Matt, Hugo Keenan.
Good.
You got it there in front of you, do you?
I have.
Yeah. Okay. Keenan. Mike, seriously.
I said I haven't.
Yeah, I know, Roy. Okay, I haven't asked you yet. Jesus, Mr. Interruption. Matt, Keenan. Who else is getting their first minutes? Gibson Park. Hugh Jones, isn't he?
He played already.
He's played already, yeah.
Hugh Jones. Okay.
James Ryan.
Ryan.
Oh, James Ryan as.
King Horn isn't getting the step play yet because he's.
Oh, James Ryan. James Ryan at 19. Yeah, he's on the bench. Okay. Right, go on, Matt. Your thoughts on that team? Sorry, I'm just as I'm asking the question, I'm just going through the names here.
Look, as I said earlier on, this is the third team name for the Lions tour, and Andy Farrell has now selected everybody, bar the fucking two on the way. So, like, they're not discounted because they haven't even landed in fucking Australia yet. So, he has played every single one. He's named every single one in a match day 23, which just shows what he wants from his players. He wants them all to have a fair shot at getting named in a test squad. He's reselected players that he thought had a good game. He's reselected players that he probably thought had a shit game. I mean, The fact that fucking Duhan Vanderpants is getting another fucking shout on the wing will just show, like, he wants to give him another shot before he makes a decision about him. But, you know, for me, it's a decent enough team. Him and Cowan Dickey for me are the only ones that really shouldn't be named because they both had a really, really bad performance against Argentina. So
sorry.
You know, the rest are kind of doing well. I'm happy to see Porter and Stewart start because when they came on against the Western Force, they turned that scrum around, and with Kelleher, that's going to be a really good pack. But you're pretty much guaranteed that it's the starting test team is going to be Porter, Dan Sheehan, and Will Stewart, in my opinion.
And for the test?
For the test, yeah.
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry. Jasmine, hold on. One sec, Len. I am not. This is very much an in joke, folks. None of you will get it. Looking forward to seeing Hugo Tyner making us first appearance. Now we will get. Go on then.
Apart from Ellis Hinge, who probably has a good shout of going as well, but I still reckon Andy Farrell's going to go. He's going to lean towards the Irish lads.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Len, your thoughts on? Sorry, I'm reading it again. Hence my pause.
I know.
Pauses. Go on, Len.
Delighted to see Gibson Park get a start as well. Yeah. Look, obviously, and I'm glad he's back fit, especially after Tomas Williams. He sent home to Ireland. Like, and in fairness, there's another guy that surprised and we probably didn't look at as much. you know, when he was playing with Wales, but I thought he was exceptional before he pulled the hamstring. Very, very good.
I slated him, Len. Sorry.
You didn't.
Len. No, I didn't. No, beforehand, before all the lines even, I couldn't understand why he was picked. But look, in fairness, hands up, I was wrong. He had a great game. Last one, as did Finn Russell. So
it's fucking a killer for a guy though to play himself into contention for the test and to actually put his hamstring going over for a try.
And actually, do you know, I was looking back at that game, and 10 minutes before he scored that try, the fucking Western Force lad milled him at the fucking at the back of a ruck, and I reckon that's what caused the injury 10 minutes later.
I wouldn't say you're wrong. Yeah, look, the team. Look, as Matt said, Cowan Dickey and Van der Merwe, they shouldn't be down in Australia, in my opinion.
What about Maro Toje, Len? Maro Toje, Len.
Look,
he's captain though, you know.
I know, but he shouldn't be there.
We already said, right? He would never be captain, only for Doris is injured. Look, maybe we're wrong. Maybe Andy Farrell hadn't picked this captain all along. In fairness, I think the rest of the world thinks Doris, and I honestly believe Farrell would have made Doris captain. He's captain 100%. Material. Toje.
Totally.
Well, look, okay, Toje does some things right. I don't rate the chap. I don't think anybody here really does. And he's certainly not captain material. Give it to Sheen or Byrne or somebody else. But, yeah, that team, look, it's great. Fucking Toje's getting run out again. What happens if a Toje makes a complete balls of this game? Now, it's not unlikely up against the Brits, right? Well, this is my point.
Captains
how can you drop your captain?
You can.
I know you can.
Happened before.
Yeah.
Well, like, getting back to fucking Van der Merwe, right? As Matt said, he's giving him another shot at it. Fair enough, right? We'll see. He's accused of being a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
Going forward, he's good.
Yeah.
His step, he has pace. Defensively, he's not great.
Shite.
He's shite.
Yeah, he's a long way from
we'll give him 60-40 on defensively, right?
I'd give him 40-20.
He's fucking...
Hold on, Mike.
He's atrocious under a high ball, right? Absolutely. He couldn't fucking catch herpes in a whole house, right, guy? He's fucking brutal. So, in my opinion, give him a try and then just fucking send him home after fucking this and fucking ring up fucking somebody, anybody. Fucking off somebody from Water Park and get him out there because he'll do better than him. Sorry, Mike. I'm actually taking over.
No, I tell you what, Len. I'm admiring your great Wi-Fi. To be honest with
you. Yeah, it's pretty shit.
What is it? Am I breaking up?
Yeah.
Hold on. No, it happens. Hold on. Dara Weston.
Because Wi-Fi here is good.
Now you were frozen there a second ago. Hold on, Dara Weston. We're coming up to the hour mark. Dara Weston, it's refreshing to see fans giving players chances and second chance after years of tourism like Gats, and his stick to all his favourites and throw a few non-Welsh tactics even. Sonia Croak, I was going to call you Sonia Clark there for the crack, but Sonia Croak. He's stuck with a Toje, but he needs to step up because Andy will be ruthless. Yes, very true, Sonia. He will be. Yeah. He will be. And I don't think, you see, I don't think a Toje is a guaranteed starter under Farrell, despite Toje being named as captain.
Well, he's going to need to have the best game of his life in this game on Wednesday to be considered because at the moment he's been anonymous. And that's putting it politely.
Yes, no, you're right, Matt. I totally agree with you. And Len, what you said there as well. Mike Reedy, this... haven't asked you yet, and I'm nearly afraid to ask you. Go on.
I was a little bit disappointed that James Ryan didn't actually start the game, to tell you the truth.
No. I don't think he ever was.
Has he been injured?
He was, but not now.
Well, I mean, Itoji's already started the game and didn't distinguish himself, as we've all agreed. I think it's only fair to give Van der Merwe and Cowan Dickey a chance to prove their worth again. They played against a really good Argentina team, and I'm going to give the both of them the benefit of the doubt. I said things about him last week, which I probably regret slightly. But anyway, we're getting on to Itoje. Never a captain either for me. Never. He's not even. He's not a line starter for me. Not in that team. There's better locks than him in that team. No question about it. And he could be exposed. Now, I heard Sam Warburton saying he thinks the two locks are going to be Itoje and Joe McCarthy. That's a disaster waiting to happen if it is, and they're both.
Why?
Because they're both penalty machines. They both give away fucking penalties. Now, in a test scenario, that could be crucial.
They've both been better of late, so I wouldn't be called blanket.
Joe McCarthy was absolutely.
Yeah, I'd agree with you, Matt. Matt. Yeah, sorry, go on, Mike.
Yeah, Joe McCarthy was absolutely outstanding, and he's definitely put his hand up. He's put his hand up. Yes. No, and like Len said earlier, Ty Byrne probably shouldn't have played Saturday because he is tired, and he looked tired. And I don't think he done him any favors. He didn't have a disastrous game or anything like that. But he shouldn't be playing at 6. He shouldn't be tinkering with that kind of stuff. In my opinion, he should be a start. He should be one of the starting locks with another on it, and the other isn't Itoje, because they played together against Argentina and it didn't go well for Itoje anyway. The team is good. It's great to see Hugo Keenan back. Everybody, I mean, a lot of people outside of Ireland have Blair Kinghorn penciled in as the fucking fullback. I don't think that's the case at all. Hugo Keenan to me was the greatest fullback in certainly in the world, in fact, for the last few years until he got injured. He was head and shoulders above anything else in the Northern Hemisphere by a long way.
But in fairness, Mike, Blair Kinghorn is a bloody good.
Oh, he's been outstanding for Toulouse. I mean,
he plays for one of the best club teams in Europe,
in the world.
You know, you have to.
Oh, absolutely. And you know something, that's been the making of him going over there to play, without a doubt. It's enhanced he's everything about his game by going to play for Toulouse. And like, if you're not because if you're not at the top of your game, you're not fucking you're not going to be getting a game for them. No chance. Because when you have Ramos and players like that, you know that you're competing against. But I think it's an all right Lions team, and I'm glad he's given everybody in the squad a chance to put their hand up.
Right, gentlemen. Okay, Mike. Jesus Christ, you'd fucking talk the bollocks off a fucking eunuch, you know that?
Well, but it's only because I've got interesting stuff to fucking say.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, that's the base one. All right, okay. Now, Mike, here we go. We're over the hour mark. Mike, Reedy, I'm going to ask you first. This is our usual spot. Win, lose, or draw. Right? Give me a score prediction, everyone. I'm not just asking Mike. Matt and Len. Score prediction. Queensland Reds against the Lions. Mike, go.
47-5-7.
5-7. 47-57.
What?
47-7.
For who? Who's the what?
The Lions are going to win at 47.
Lions, obviously.
I don't know. You wouldn't know what fucking Mikey did.
Why? What would you not know?
Well, I don't know. You're just shedding out
47-7 for the Lions. Do you want me to fucking write it down for you? Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, we give you a job.
Matt Bowles, go ahead. Sorry, hold on. MM or 47-7. Go on, Matt.
I'd say 43-19.
Hold on. MB 43. So I presume you're going Lions 43, Reds. Like, okay.
Yes, right. Obviously.
Well, I don't know. That obviously the missus always says obviously, but I'm going, what the fuck? It's obviously. Go on. Yeah, all right. Len, before we wrap it up, we're over the hour mark. Your score prediction for the Queensland Reds versus the Lions on Wednesday. Go for it.
Yeah, well, it'll be a lot better scoreline if fucking Van der Merwe and Itoje weren't in there. So considering both of them are, I'm going to go 48-12.
48. 12. Okay. And I'm just going to go BL, Bishop Len. All right. Okay, there we go. Folks, gentlemen, that is all we have time for this evening for the Monday night show, which is the breakdown where we discuss games that happened. Danny Brosnan is on a night off. We will see you again on Thursday, where our guest is Munster and ex-Munster and Ireland player and coach Fiona Hayes. Danny will probably be on that show as well with us. But listen, thanks to all of you for watching, for your comments.
Yeah, thanks to everybody.
All that sort of stuff. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's very much appreciated. And also thanks to the backroom staff, the usual guests, the common guests that we have on. Me, Mike, Matt, and Len. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will do it all again on Thursday. Take care, gents. Great to see you.
All the best.
All the best.